it's MK and I am back with another May I Scraplift You, and today we are scraplifting Sheena Rowlands, sorry if you didn't hear me. She's also part of the Hey Little Magpie design team, and she has a YouTube channel, just Sheena Rowlands here on YouTube. This is what I will be scraplifting today. Yes, it is. And I also picked out a few things. This one is the chipboard lettering from Storybook by Vicki Boutin. And then I found this paper pad right here at Michael's when I went to Michael's a couple weekends ago. And it just says Art for Everyone. Now, I'm kind of sort of new to Vicki Boutin. I was introduced a few years back by Tracy Rencier, and she has like Vicki Boutin everything. And when she introduced me, it was kind of like overwhelming and a little bit too hard for me to get on that bandwagon. Plus, I wasn't too sure if I really truly liked how dark her papers all were. And then, of course, the embellishments. I don't know, you guys. I wasn't quite on that bandwagon just yet. Well, then I got Storybook and started playing with her stuff and really, really liking it. So I picked up this paper pad. I liked more than 85% of it. So I was super stoked with all of the stuff that is within this paper pad. Never knew it was here. And then I also have these pieces. I just got this random set of glasses right there. And then I have this die that matches this stamp set exactly. And these are stamps by Paper Rose, so's the die. Paper Rose or Paper Roses, I can't ever remember. Paper Rose is what these are by. And I just love this sketchy color wheel with all the little thread bits inside. So I want to incorporate those somehow. And also, I showed you the paper pad. Also, I brought back that thread that I created for yesterday's layout, and hopefully I'll get to use the majority of that up, or at least enough to where I can feel okay with throwing it away. That's what I want to do. I have a cut file from Cut to You that I would like to add to this layout as well. Here's my photo. It's just me at the eye doctor's a few years back. I've also got this watercolor piece of paper by Paper Rose as well. Scrapbook.com had a, help me out. Scrapbook.com had a sale of Paper Rose, and I mean a ridiculous sale, and I found stuff that I didn't even know they made. So I was super stoked at getting all this. And then this is the paper that I'm going to be using for my background. And it is also Thumbnail Thursday, so we will be creating an 8.5 by 11 page today. So this is going to represent my mixed media. I'm not going to do the mixed media little bits. And depending on where, how I have this is where this will be like taking place, okay? Like that or that, whichever way. But that's what I plan on doing. I need to pick out some papers to go along the side of my piece of paper. That's upside down. There we go. Much better. It had marks on it, you guys. So anyways, I just need to pick out some papers that I want to be on the side. And it looks like she tore them all, or somewhat. It looks like she did tear them all. And then she's got her photo down here with a cluster of a bunch of circles, thus the circles and the circles, right? She has a few little embellishments, very few. I might go get a flare, depending on how clustered everything is, and depending on if I can find something that will suit my photo. But yes, I'm gonna go and pick out my papers from here, because I think that they match this Paper Rose paper pretty well. I think. I'm not sure, you guys. I just threw things together because that's what I do. Where's it at? Yeah, I think it'll work just fine. I think they'll be great. Even though I'm using a white base, that's the same paper. Where did that other paper go? Right there. Yeah, I think it'll be just fine. So, anywho, I'm going to go do that, and we're going to get started creating a layout. and let's go see what I can do. All right, thanks.
Well, the first thing that I ended up doing was ripping up the edges of this piece because I wanted to make it blend into my white piece of background. So I'm going blind here. I don't have any other papers picked out. I don't know exactly what I'm doing. I never do, but I do know, what I'm looking for, basically. So first off, I ripped my paper a little bit too skinny. I wanted it to be a little bit wider than the photo. So I should have cut the photo first and then made my rips on the rainbow paper. Well, then I was picking out my background papers and I thought, well, I need to know how much space I need on my 8.5 by 11 to see how much background papers, or I should say paper strips, that I needed. You guys, I could have done all of this with scraps, but ever since January, I feel like I have been working with microscopic papers, and so I really wanted to just rip and tear, not literally, into my new papers, into a full sheet of 12 by 12. I just wanted to make more scraps, basically. I don't know. I've got all this new stuff and I keep looking at it and I keep moving it in a sense and not touching it. Like I have all my cocoa vanilla that I don't touch. I have brand new, I wouldn't say pads of paper, but new things to me, whether they're new on the market or not. They were new to me that I absolutely was just ready to play with basically. So I decided on 2 pieces of paper. One of them's actually just the paper strip that was on the top. And because it has that little hole, I think I'll be able to cover it up. I don't know this at this point, but I'm pretty confident that I will. So I'm ripping the edges of my paper just like in the sketch. And then this branding strip or top strip, whatever you want to call it, at the, it was kind of a little too skinny. So it was a pill to rip, but I ended up doing it anyways. And then I just went ahead and I ripped it at the hole. So that way I know that I'll be able to put it back together somewhere in the middle. And the first thing that I did was, of course, cut it the wrong length. I had 8.5 in my brain and not 11. So gotta put that back together. It's okay. It's not hardly going to be seen at all. So I go ahead and I cut it at 11, and then I'm realizing that I need to do my string in between this piece and the skinny strip before putting the grid paper on. So I'm just going off the sketch. I'm trying to be a good girl and follow the directions. I went ahead and I put all 5 pieces of string together just so I could kind of make a little rainbow. And I'm going to have little rainbows going down the edge of the paper. And when I twist them, so I'm not going to cut them. It's going to be just one piece. And I've got a piece of double-sided tape put down already. And then I'm going to put washi to basically hold them in place. And then I'm going to use some tear tape to attach my like branding strip piece, if that makes any sense. So at the same time, I'm trying to twist all of these pieces so that way it's not the same exact colors on top of one another. And I'm guesstimating how many loops I needed, all that stuff. You guys, there was no brain work involved in this whatsoever. And then I'm going to cut them all off and just throw away the rest. I'm done with them. So I really like how this turned out. I was going to say I started to like how this turned out, but I was liking how this is turning out. And I'm excited to finish this page and see what it looks like. I'm excited to turn it over and see what it looks like. Oh my gosh. I absolutely love this, distressed colored piece that I'm putting on now. I believe it matches my, my strings very, very well. So I'm excited, you guys. It was like, oh my gosh, this is all coming together, and it's just random bits that, are leftovers from other layouts. Well, I'm going to use my extra pieces of that rainbow paper that I ripped to cover up the additional adhesive that I had on my paper strips. That's all that I was doing there. And then I'm taking my base piece and I'm going to rip it just like in the sketch. And then I'm going to try to paste it together for an 8.5 by 11. Well, here's where I make a mistake. Oh my gosh. And yes, it is okay to make mistakes in scrapbooking. That is why we have more paper, right? So I do cut it all down to 8.5 by 11 and I'm good to go. But then I forgot that I didn't measure out my 8.5. Nope, I did not. So I'm going to really quickly put down my, I'm going to spray, not put down. Yes, I'm going to put them down into the box. I'm going to spray them with black spray and then let them dry. And in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and just quickly, like I said, I totally spaced that I did not cut this down to 8.5 by 11. But hey, look, I remembered. So of course, when I ripped it up, I accidentally ripped my base piece. So I had to go and get a new one. That's where I went. And I'm going to try this again. Well, when I try it again, for one, I rip all wonky. Like I don't know what happened. It just ripped really weird. Like it separated instead of ripped. Does that make sense? So I'm going to take the separation and rip it off as well. Well, it leaves a big old huge hole right here. Where is it at? I make a mistake, you guys. And I rip too much of my paper. There it is. It has to be. Anyways, I do. I rip way too much to the point where it's got a huge divot in it. And then I can't straighten my paper. It's just too much for me to straighten. So I cut all this part out because it was just a struggle for me to get it all glued together because of how crooked that line was. But I like the characteristic of it. And now I'm actually going to cut it down to an 8.5 by 11. Yep. But I do bring back that rainbow piece and decide right away that it's too bright for everything else that's on the left of the page. Even the polka dots or the distressed colored piece that I put down matched my string more than the stripes did. So the first thing I did was grab the same ink. I haven't put them away yet because that's not what I do. And I grabbed the pink, and before I made that swipe, I thought, I don't want pink. I don't do pink. So I went with the peach, and then I went with the yellow. Yep, there is no gesso on this paper whatsoever. I just went for it, you guys. I have no idea what I'm going to be doing. So then I put down the green and then I put down the blue. Now the blue is an ink, so it will react different than the oxides. But I do end up liking how they look. So the first thing I did was rub them all together. And this is not doing a darn thing, actually. But I thought in my brain it would. So I went ahead and I sprayed it with water, and that's when I remembered that I had no gesso on this whatsoever. The water just soaked right through all the ink. It did nothing for the ink. But if you take oxides or even distress ink and apply it while it's still wet, the effects are amazing, you guys. I don't know what it does. I don't know if I'm ruining my ink pads or not, but I thought it was pretty cool because basically everywhere that's wet ended up dark and blotchy and really cool looking. So I actually enjoyed how this turned out with the happy mistake that I was making. I just wished my yellow was a little bit more prominent. So I'm going to really smudge it in there and then use my paper towel to just wipe it up really good. That big black spot streak down the center where my blue ink pad accidentally rubbed, it's going to be all covered up, don't you worry. And then I also took a little bit of the ink pads and rubbed them on the sides of the edges as well, since I accidentally got some from the peach color. So I purposely inked the edges, but not completely. Does that make sense? Ugh, I hope so. So I brought back my my now black circles. I absolutely love how stark black they are. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to purchase this cut file from Gwen. It's a cut to you cut file, and it's just my favorite. I think I already have purchased it actually. Basically what I like to do is I like to purchase both, like a one-time use only cut file. And then I also like to purchase the digital cut files if I know I'm going to use them over and over again. I do know she's in Australia, but I still like to support my small businesses, you guys. I actually, don't find it difficult at all. So I think it's worth it. And the currency exchange makes me feel like I'm robbing her, in all honesty. Just to let you guys know. So I only picked out these 2 chipboard pieces, and after it's all said and done, I do not like the gold added. I didn't add any gold to this layout whatsoever, so I'm going to take it off as soon as I add some more black, because I love the starkness of this black. So I'm just going to take this Dilutions paint, again, left over from another project. And actually, no, it's left over from the fact that I sprayed my cut file with it. That's what it's left over from. So I basically just splattered the black everywhere, and now I'm going to let it dry, clean up my mess, bring it back, and that's when I decided that I don't like the little label thing there. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to keep it. I'm not going to use it. Nothing. So I am going to put my title down. I'm going to bring out this T-square ruler that I purchased. I don't find this very convenient, you guys. Maybe I bought the wrong one. I'm not really sure. But either my papers aren't as thick as everybody else's, but I have a hard time getting the T portion to rest up against the paper. And then I actually have to push down on the longer portion to get it to rest on my paper. I don't know. I just don't find it convenient. I do try to use it because I did buy it. But other than that, yeah, that's my first time using it since I bought it. And I can't remember when I bought it. Anyways, it works for some. It just doesn't work for others. That's all there is to it. I added those little spy glasses because I am at the doctor's office, of course, the eye doctors. I think this little contraption is a neat little thing, and I have no idea how the doctor can even get what it is that I'm looking at, especially from me, because they all look the same. He flips and flops those little pieces of lenses around, and they look the same. So I'm a horrible, horrible patient. I bet I am. So instead of using those what are they called? Color wheel scribbles. I thought that they were just too big, and I have enough circles on my layout, you guys. I am perfectly happy with the way it looks. I didn't think it needed anything else. So I took one of the words, which basically just says, trust the process, which is what I do. I trust that doctor to do his job and make me see. That is exactly what I do. And I'm all done. That's it. I love these fast, uber quick pages, you guys. And I absolutely love how it turned out. I am glad that I did not go with my original piece of rainbow paper that I picked out. And that it all matches. I love the brightness that this turned out. All right, be sure to be checking out all the links below who are playing along with Crystal and this awesome May I Scrap You series, as well as Sheena's YouTube channel is also down below, so you can check out her awesome artwork. All right, I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Bye.